Depression is being colorblind and constantly told how colorful the world is. A human being can survive almost anything as long as he or she sees the end in sight. But depression is so insidious and it compounds daily that it's impossible to ever see the end. Insidious means something that is proceeding in gradual, subtle way, but has harmful effects. That's the meaning of that word. When people don't know exactly what depression is, they can become judgmental. Hold on to this hope. You can get better from depression. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ifechi Health and Wellness. Today I want us to look at this condition, depression and such like, because since lockdown to now, or during lockdown and after lockdown up to now, some people suffered and are still suffering the effect of anxiety, depression and stuff like that. But I want us to look at this from biblical side of it. And today I want us to look at 1 Kings 19 verse 7. And it says, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." That's in 1 Kings 19 verse 7. If you are experiencing depression, it's important to seek support of a doctor or a counselor. But God also has some wisdom for us when we are feeling depressed. You know, in my Ifechi family, I've been talking about wisdom. I have been talking about wisdom in that channel. So wisdom can be used all around in our lives. Let's take a look at how God helped Elijah when he was experiencing depression. You can read about this in 1 Kings 19. Just read the whole of 1 Kings 19 and you see how God helped Elijah when he was experiencing depression. So anybody can actually experience depression. So it's not something to shy away from. Some people are bottling things up. They don't want to be labeled. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I have anxiety disorder. Oh, this and that. No need to be ashamed of anything. We are all human beings and it can affect anybody. So one favor you can do yourself is to be open about this. Seek help. Speak to trusted family member. Speak to a trusted counselor and don't bottle things up. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. You know what we can learn from that chapter? First thing there is we need to take care of our physical needs. Elijah was exhausted, so he stretched out under a tree and fell asleep. All at once, an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again, as recorded in verses 5 to 6. Then the angel came to him in a second time and said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you," as stated in verse 7. So he ate and drank and was strengthened by the food. God didn't get cross with Elijah, scold him for running away, demand an explanation, imply his present condition was caused by a lack of faith, or put the blame on Elijah in any way. Like it sometimes happens in some of the organizations we belong, and we call them, some of them anywhere, and we call them churches where we belong. Where people have to blame you when they feel, even if instead of coming near to you to understand what is happening with you, they will label you as somebody who does not have faith. Why are you behaving like this? You're a child of God. You should not be feeling like that. God, and they start quoting the Bible out of context. But listen to this. God did not blame Elijah in any way, as recorded in this 1 Kings 19. He simply met Elijah's most pressing needs by giving him food and allowing him to rest. In our own case, people will be saying, "Oh, you are lazy. You should be doing this by now. You shouldn't be doing that by now." Let us let us read the Bible and understand it and practice it as much as we can. Depression goes beyond just feeling sad. Yes, it goes beyond that. It can impact our mental and physical health too. And when we are physically and mentally drained, we are vulnerable. We might not feel like taking care of ourselves properly in those times, but let's try to remember that God's starting point was to restore Elijah physically and help him regain his strength. And if we are supporting someone who is experiencing depression, let's follow God's example by refusing to criticize or get frustrated, and instead start by looking at how we can meet their immediate needs. Very important. First thing first, and stop the blame culture. Going further to the same 1 Kings 19 verse 15, another point I want us to look at there in verse 15 is, the Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus." God told Elijah to go to the desert of Damascus and anoint a new king and also a new prophet to take his place. That's recorded in 15 to 17. In other words, he gave Elijah a new assignment. When we are going through a time of depression, it's likely there will come a point when we need to let God give us a new direction. He will help us take our focus away from the pain of past hurts and problems and refocus on something new. He might show us ways that we can use our experience to help others who are going through something similar. The scripture says, "Do not be interested only in your own life, but be interested in the life of others." That one is recorded in Philippians 2 verse 4. We might think that we have failed so badly that God can't use us, or that he shares the disappointment that we feel about ourselves. But God is gentle and understanding. God is not man. God is not one of those people that will be pointing fingers and making your situation worse and making you feel guilty. He is not like that, and he won't reject us like human beings may do. Nothing in the account of Elijah suggests that God was disappointed with him. In fact, it reassures us even more about God's love, because he was willing to walk with Elijah through depression. He didn't once turn his back on Elijah while he was struggling with his feelings. No, he was with him and doing things to help him both physically and mentally. In the New Testament, Jesus knew that Peter would deny him, but he called him anyway because he knew that Peter would learn and go through the experience and go on to even greater things. God hasn't finished with us. If we make a mistake, he will pick us up and help us start again. One mistake or hundreds of mistakes doesn't make us useless, and God has just the right assignment waiting for us at the appropriate time. So let's be open to what he's saying to us and allow him to use us for his kingdom, and stop allowing people to put us down, and stop allowing people to to make us to keep feeling depressed. Read this account in 1 Kings 19 and it will encourage you. I hope I've encouraged somebody this morning with this short video on depression, but using the Bible to analyze it or to bring it up. Do not let people put you down. Anybody can feel depressed, but do you remain feeling depressed, or do you find a way of helping yourself? And do people around you find a way of helping you? Let's think about this. Thank you, everyone. Stop feeling depressed. Rely on God. No matter what it is, God is still God, and He will make it right at His own time. Thank you so much. Goodbye, and God bless.